elder sister Xiao Ling. Xianxia spent approximately 2 days before returning. Well, where's your wife? Du Xiaoling looked at Xianxia and asked. Xianxia laughed. Elder sister Xiaoling, do you have poison in this place? I'm worried that she won't be able to take it, so I'll check to see if it's safe. Du Xiaoling hurriedly nodded, then closed her eyes and carefully sensed the surroundings of her small courtyard. Only after she confirmed that there was no poison did she nod her head, and then gently smiled. Even if she was poisoned, I can quickly cure it. Bai Ling will recover very quickly, and it should still be a few more days. Yu Qing, sister Yu, you can come out now. Chen Xiang let Su Yuqing and Bai Yu out. Du Xiaoling recognized Bai Yu, but he didn't know that he was Su Yuqing. They were both girls, so it wasn't difficult for them to get to know each other. Chen Xiang, on the other hand, was wandering around to see the poison inside. Little scoundrel, come here, Su Yuqing shouted. Chen Xiang was playing with a black venomous cat demon, and when he heard Su Yuqing call him, he immediately ran over. What is it? I am preparing to enter the elder sister Xiao Ling. I need some peace and quiet, and I cannot be disturbed, Su Yuqing said. Are you confident you can help elder sister Xiao Ling get rid of the heavenly energy that is imprisoning her? Chen Xiang asked. I can't be sure yet. I'll have to check carefully before I know. At this time, Su Yuqing's face was extremely solemn. You could tell that the thing she was about to do next was definitely dangerous. Chen Xiang nodded his head, then maintained silence with Bai Yu, maintaining his vigilance against the surroundings, preventing anything from coming over. After all, Du Xiaoling had a lot of poisonous materials here. Du Xiaoling and Su Yuqing clasped their hands together. The two girls had their eyes closed and were extremely quiet. Chen Xiang did not know how they were progressing and could only wait patiently. Very quickly, several hours passed. They were still sitting like this. Suddenly, Chen Xiang heard the door opening. Both he and Bai Yu immediately became cautious. Sister Yu, stay here. I'll go take a look. After Chen Xiang finished speaking, he teleported to the stone door, only to see a woman dressed in black tight clothes walking in. The girl had a long braid hanging on her well-developed chest, with a purple hook at the end. Her face was cold and charming, with purple lines on it, and her eyes shone with a purple light. She was Bai Ziqian. Sister Ziqian. Chen Xiang laughed. You're back. Chen Xiang, why are you here? Bai Ziqian was extremely shocked, and immediately asked, Are you all right? Chen Xiang made a hush gesture, then said in a low voice, It's fine. Elder sister Xiao Ling and the others are doing very important things. We need to keep it quiet. Bai Yu originally wanted to come over, but the place was filled with poison, so she could only stay where she was. Why are you guys here? You don't trust me, do you? After all, Bai Ziqian was Bai Yu's big sister. Seeing Chen Xiang here, she could already guess what would happen. Yes, but now we are relieved, and I brought Sister Bai Ling here to treat the poison. Chen Xiang said. Sister Bai Ling was poisoned by the sky spill poison. Only the elder sister Xiao Ling can cure her. This meant that Chen Xiang and Chen Xiang were getting along quite well. When she saw Chen Xiang previously, she was worried that he would poison her. Hee. I come from the impenetrable. There's no fucking problem coming to this place. Chen Xiang laughed. Humph. It's been so long since I've seen you, but you're still the same as ever. Bai Ziqian snorted lightly, then walked with Chen Xiang over to where Bai Yu was. Bai Yu told Bai Ziqian about helping him. Of course, Bai Ziqian knew about what happened to Du Xiaoling. She did not know that Su Yuqing could help him, so even though she was still in the Hundreds of Flowers village, she rarely interacted with the women of the Hundreds of Flowers village. At the very most, she only interacted with LV Qinlian, and she did not even see Bai Yu often. How is it? Have you managed to control your poison well? Bai Ziqian asked. Previously, Bai Ziqian had obtained the inheritance of an ancient poison god king, so he had cultivated that kind of poison technique. Back then, it was also because she had received the inheritance of the ancient poison god king that she had fallen into a deadly situation. At that time, Chen Xiang had risked his life to save her, and it was precisely because of that that she had buried the feelings of adoration towards Xianxia deep within her heart. It's much better now. It's mainly because my cultivation and mental state are not enough, yet I have to control such a powerful poison. My strength doesn't follow my heart, so I often lose control. Bai Ziqian sighed. Let me touch it. See if it's a little fat or not. Xianxia immediately extended her hand out and pinched Bai Ziqian's jade face. Bai Ziqian coldly glared at Xianxia. After all, Bai Yuyu was here, and Du Shaoling and Su Yuqing were at the side. Sis, is your poison effective against those black hairs, humaness? Bai Yuyu asked. It worked. Master told me. Bai Ziqian looked at Du Shaoling. Du Shaoling was her master. Sister Ziqian, are you afraid of the sky spill poison? Xianxia asked. I don't know. I've only heard it from Master once, and I've never seen it with my own eyes. But I'm going to go see Sister Bai Ling. Back then, when Xia Bailing entered the Hundreds of Flowers village, it was extremely lively. After all, Xia Bailing was very mischievous, jumping up and down with Long Shui and the other mischievous beings. Xianxia and Bai Ziqian entered the small house, while Bai Yuyu stayed behind. She did not dare to walk around carelessly, especially in the small house, where there was the qi of the heavens divination which Du Shaoling had mentioned before. Bai Ziqian walked to the door, and already felt the aura of the sky spill poison, and frowned. She glanced at Xianxia, but Xianxia was completely fine. Looks like this poison still can't deal with you. Your body is truly special. I'm afraid only Qinlian's love poison is effective against you. The only one that can deal with you in this world is Qinlian's love poison, Bai Ziqian said as he walked into the small hut. Bai Ziqian saw Xia Bailing lying in the bathtub. The water in the bathtub was very black and thick. It was like ink. The sky spill poison is very scary, but it has already been absorbed and digested by the poisonous water that Master refined. Sky spill poison is very scary, but right now it has already been absorbed and digested by the poisonous water that Master refined. Bai Ziqian used her jade hand to gently touch the thick black water, and exclaimed, The heavens divination poison is truly terrifying. Bai Ziqian was frowning as he looked at Bai Ziqian. Suddenly, Xianxia came to her back and hugged her. Bai Ziqian's delicate body trembled, and then she channeled all the energy in her body, wanting to struggle free from Xianxia. However, just as she was about to release her power, she retracted it back. Sister Ziqian, all of these years you must have been tough, right? Xianxia asked gently. Bai Ziqian turned around, looked into Xianxia's deep emotional eyes, and then nodded. Because of her, not to mention men, she didn't even dare to approach a woman. That kind of loneliness had tortured her for many years, and Xianxia could understand as well. Xianxia faintly smiled, then hugged Bai Ziqian. Bai Ziqian also hugged Xianxia tightly, feeling Xianxia's heartbeat. The two of them gazed at each other with deep love, and before they knew it, they had started kissing. Bai Yuyu also didn't know why Xianxia and Bai Ziqian had been inside for so long. She could only wait. Finally, she waited for more than 4 hours before Xianxia and Bai Ziqian came out. Bai Yuyu understood Xianxia and Bai Ziqian very well, and could be said to be the person who understood Bai Ziqian and Bai Yuyu the most. Seeing Xianxia's happy and contented appearance, and seeing how although Bai Ziqian's gaze was cold and elegant, his cheeks were slightly red and tender, she immediately understood something. You too. Bai Yuyu couldn't help but laugh. There's really something you guys are here for. Humph. Even women do these kinds of things. What's so funny about that? Bai Ziqian gave a light snort. Didn't you yourself do the same in the past? She has never experienced it before. Xianxia laughed. Really? Bai Ziqian laughed complacently, and said while looking at Bai Yuyu, Looks like I got ahead of you. Seriously, after being with this kid for so long, you actually didn't do anything like that. Bai Yuyu scoffed and said, You guys truly do not know shame. There's even big sister Bai Ling lying inside. She fainted. She didn't know. Xianxia laughed. Damn you, little scoundrel. Bai Yuyu scoffed. She did not expect Xianxia to actually fuck her elder sister in this kind of place at this time. She actually knew about the feelings Bai Ziqian had for Xianxia, but she definitely didn't think that they would develop so quickly. She felt that she still wasn't clear about Bai Ziqian, but she was actually taken over by Xianxia that easily. However, she thought about it and felt that it was more acceptable. After all, Bai Ziqian was covered in poison, and Xianxia had helped Bai Ziqian multiple times without fear of poison, and she had even saved him at all. As long as Xianxia took the initiative, it would only be a matter of time before she was captured. Xianxia smiled as he looked at Bai Yuyu. He knew that Bai Yuyu would be his sooner or later. Little scoundrel, what are you thinking about? She understood Xianxia very well. With just a glance from Xianxia, she could already tell what he was thinking. How much longer do they need? I wonder if they can succeed. Bai Ziqian looked at Du Shaoling, very worried. Du Shaoling was her master, and whether or not she could act like a normal person in the future all depended on Du Shaoling. Of course, when she was dealing with Xianxia just now, she had gained a lot from it. She felt that she had better control over the poison in her body now, but she was still lacking a little. Right now, her mood had greatly improved. After all, she no longer felt lonely. She was not like before, enduring loneliness all day and feeling depressed all day. This kind of life had been going on for many years. Seeing that Bai Ziqian had become cheerful, Bai Yuyu was secretly happy for Bai Ziqian as well. She had experienced Bai Ziqian's misfortune before, especially after she had dispersed the ruthless magic. It will succeed, Bai Yuyu said. At this time, Xianxia had nothing to do, so he took out the pill furnace to concoct the pills. He was currently refining Shipo Dan S. He wanted to take the opportunity to concoct more Shipo Dan S for Bai Ziqian. With Du Shaoling's help, Bai Ziqian's Daopa realm could be raised quickly. Xianxia wanted her to be faster, so she would have to stay here for a while longer. In the blink of an eye, another 2 days had passed. Su Yuqing and Du Shaoling tightly held onto their 10 fingers without moving at all. But while concocting the pills, Xianxia suddenly felt pain on his waist. Bai Yuyu and Bai Ziqian were also suddenly shocked, because they suddenly saw a white figure standing beside Xianxia. The white shadow that suddenly appeared beside Xianxia was precisely Xia Bailing, and she was currently pinching the flesh on his waist. Little scoundrel, you actually did that when I was lying in there. You're so bad. Xia Bailing scoffed, her face red. Xia Bailing actually knew about it. After Bai Ziqian heard this, her cold and charming face suddenly flushed red, and she lowered her head, not daring to raise it up. After all, there were people watching the entire scene from the side. Of course, she did not know that Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiangyin were also aware of this matter. I was wrong, Shu. Xianxia said softly. Even though it was very painful, he did not dare cry out. Humph. I'll teach you a lesson next time. Xia Bailing scoffed, then looked at Du Shaoling. She stared at her beautiful face with a complicated expression, and sighed. Although Xia Bailing had fainted due to poison, she seemed to be able to know about what was happening in the outside world. Thus, she knew about the conversation between Xianxia and Du Shaoling outside very clearly. Du Shaoling was the heaven-poisoned divine spirit who had spread the deadly poison in her city all those years ago. It wasn't her. The heavenly Tao did it to us. Xia Bailing let out a long sigh. She is innocent, and she blamed herself for so many years for no reason at all. Xianxia was a little worried just now, but after hearing Xia Bailing's words, he became more relaxed. Sister Bai Ling, you are truly open-minded. Xianxia laughed. Don't laugh. Although I'm open-minded, I still hold a grudge. Just you wait. Xia Bailing glared fiercely at Xianxia. When she was poisoned, she was lying there detoxifying, and Xianxia was actually doing something at the side. She was very angry just thinking about it. Sister Bai Ling, weren't you poisoned? How can you still feel it? Xianxia asked in a low voice. I am a Tao sovereign, and I know how to use spatial power. I have long used spatial power to separate my divine sense C. My divine sense C is still functioning normally. If there is no hope, my divine sense C will separate from my body and rebuild it, although it will become much weaker. But in the future, I can still become a Tao sovereign. Xia Bailing patted Xianxia's head again. Seeing how much you care about me, I will forgive you this time. After Xia Bailing was poisoned, he suddenly came over, and she was very concerned about him. However, she was very touched, so when she thought back to it, she felt that she could forgive Xianxia. Bai Yuyu saw Bai Ziqian's lowered head. Her jade face flushed red. She was extremely embarrassed and could not help but chuckle. Serves you right. Forget it. I'll forgive you all. Xia Bailing laughed, then said, Ziqian, you have been here for a period of time. You must know a lot about here. Quickly take me to take a look. It's rare to see such poison, and it's being raised by the heaven poison divine spirit. Xia Bailing was already holding onto Bai Ziqian's hand as he hopped towards those beautiful flowers, and there were even many beautiful butterflies fluttering about. She's really lively. Bai Yuyu held her cheeks and watched Xia Bailing run around in the flowers. Yeah, it seems like my previous worries were unnecessary. Xianxia was also very pleased. His heart was indeed like a child's. And Bai Yuyu also nodded. Bai Ziqian had no choice but to play with her. She wasn't too worried that Xia Bailing would get infected by the poison, as both she and Du Xiaoling could be cured of the poison. Xianxia and Bai Yuyu were completely stunned. Not only did Xia Bailing ride the centipede to play, he even jumped around on top of a few big furry spiders and treated a venomous bird as a horse. Xia Bailing also knew that he had to keep this place quiet, so he created a spatial enchantment to prevent her voice from coming over. Xianxia and Bai Yuyu looked at each other and laughed helplessly. Xianxia, I need your help. Su Yuqing suddenly opened his eyes. His expression was gloomy. All right, how can I help? Xianxia asked anxiously. Can your soul-absorbing devil spell absorb souls? Or is it a power hidden within the soul? Su Yuqing asked. Yes, you want me to use the soul-absorbing devil spell? Xianxia asked. Right now, I have already dispersed the power of the heavenly Tao incantation that is imprisoning the soul of the elder sister Xiaoling, and have separated it from the soul of the elder sister Xiaoling. However, that power is too much and it fills the entire divine sense sea. If we do not take them away, the elder sister Xiaoling will be in a terrible state, and she herself will not be able to resist this power. She will have to rely on external force. Xianxia looked at Bai Yuyu, and then asked, Sister Yuyu, you also understand soul-absorbing devil spell? Can the two of us go together? Of course you can. That would be for the best, and would allow you to quickly remove the power of the curse decree. Su Yuqing said, You just need to sense the divine sense CS. I have already agreed to allow your powers into her divine sense CS. Bai Yuyu nodded at Xianxia. I'm already prepared. Our divine soul will enter, and we will immediately use the soul-absorbing devil spell inside. This way we can more quickly absorb the energy. Xianxia said, Let me ask Elder Sister Xiaoling, can we directly enter with our divine soul? She said she could, but she must be careful when she goes in, because the heavenly energy is very tyrannical inside, and it is not controlled by Elder Sister Xiaoling. My divine soul must be very careful inside, and Elder Sister Xiaoling's divine soul is also hiding right now, Su Yuqing said. Xianxia and Bai Yuyu pressed their palms against Du Xiaoling's back, then said their farewells to Bai Ziqian and Xia Bailing, telling them to protect their backs well and not to be disturbed. Xia Bailing also quieted down at this time, and came beside Xianxia and the others. Xianxia and Bai Yuyu's divine soul had already entered Du Xiaoling's divine sense sea world, and it was a mess inside. However, Xianxia could still roughly see that Du Xiaoling's divine sense sea world was in a very simple and beautiful world. There were blue skies and green hills, and there would occasionally be some flowers. But now, there were many dark gray clouds drifting around in the blue sky. It was still raining heavily, and the rain was very dirty. The green grass was dyed a dark gray after being watered by the rain. After the rain stopped, a strong wind blew, bringing with it a gray dust cloud. Amidst the strong wind, there was also a clump of sand. Are all these heaven's law charms? At this time, Xianxia and Bai Yuyu were holding hands and flying around due to the strong winds, and it was impossible for them to stop. Yes, the heavenly energy curse is extremely tyrannical, and the heavenly energy curse accounts for too much grievance. Now that it has separated from the elder sister Xiaoling's soul, it wants to pollute the world of the elder sister Xiaoling, Su Yuqing said. Sister Yuyu, let's begin, Xianxia said as he operated the soul-absorbing devil spell. Xianxia and Bai Yuyu felt the murky soul power inside, so they operated the soul-absorbing devil spell together. They quickly absorbed it and discharged it from their bodies. Xianxia took out the Xianxia God Furnace and poured all of the turbid heavenly energy he released into the Xianxia God Furnace, burning it and refining it. So many! Xianxia couldn't help but exclaim in surprise after he continuously absorbed for more than 2 hours, because even though there wasn't much reduction in the absorption process, he still went ahead and absorbed as much as he could without decreasing in the slightest. It seems this will take a long time. Su Yuqing sighed. I didn't think it would be so much. Looks like there's only one way. Xianxia said, Sister Yu, you can leave first. Leave this to me. Don't act recklessly. Bai Yuyu was a little worried that Xianxia would use a dangerous method. It's fine, there's no danger. Xianxia laughed. If I use my method, I can quickly settle it. All right. Bai Yuyu left Du Xiaoling's divine sense. Su Yuqing asked, Husband, what method do you plan to use? Is it dangerous? It's not that dangerous. It's just that I let my second divine sense out here, so you can let him work with me. I'm worried that he'll reject the power of my second divine sense. Xianxia said. Du Xiaoling's divine soul simply could not flow inside, so he could not directly talk to her. All right. Only Su Yuqing was able to talk to Du Xiaoling. I'm ready to begin, Xianxia said. You can begin. Su Yuqing had already told Du Xiaoling before. Xianxia took a deep breath, then released his second divine sense. His second divine sense was extremely special and mysterious as well. However, Su Yuqing knew that his second divine sense was extremely terrifying, and that was also a power that Xianxia normally did not use. After Xianxia's second divine sense appeared, waves of dragon roars could be heard. A huge dragon covered in green scales roared and soared into the blue sky, with green light flashing from its scales. It was actually a Qin dragon. Afterwards, the vermilion birds Cry, white tiger, black tortoise, Qilin and ground-suppressing immortal elephant all roared out, shaking Du Xiaoling's divine sense. 6 extremely large heavenly beasts that seemed to cover the sky appeared in Du Xiaoling's divine sense. Soul-absorbing devil spell. Xianxia passed through the 6 heavenly beasts and activated soul-absorbing devil spell. 6 gigantic whirlpools suddenly appeared in the air. The 6 gigantic divine beasts opened their mouths wide, devouring the heavenly energy curse. A large amount of heavenly energy was sucked into the 6 gigantic vortexes like 6 giant pillars. In a short moment, a large expanse of blue sky had already appeared among Du Xiaoling's divine sense. So fast! Su Yuqing exclaimed. The second divine sense was Xianxia's true strength, and this power was usually in deep sleep. Unless absolutely necessary, Xianxia would never use it because if he used it, he did not know if he could control the strong heavenly energy. Of course, if it was only used in the divine sense, there wouldn't be any problems. But if these 6 heavenly beasts were to be released outside, according to the special power of the heavenly Dao Pill and Dao Per Realm, the heavenly beast would borrow the power of natural law principles. These 6 heavenly beasts must be extremely powerful when they borrow natural law principles. He was worried that they might break out of his control then. Xianxia's body was currently unceasingly leaking out black mist. The mist gathered together and turned into black water, which was being absorbed by the Xianxia God Furnace. Only the flames inside the Xianxia God Furnace could incinerate the Heaven's Path incantation. The Heaven's Path curse that could imprison Du Xiaoling must be very strong. Xianxia could feel it clearly at this moment. For the next 2 to 3 days, Xianxia continued to devour the filthy heavenly energy from the divine sense world. The heavenly energy flowed out from his soul. He could feel that the heavenly energy was extremely evil, filled with killing intent and resentment. With many negative emotions, it was extremely vicious. Xianxia could not understand why this kind of heavenly energy spell would contain such a terrifying thing, as if it had completely deteriorated. Could it be that there's a problem with the Heaven's Path divine art? Xianxia frowned. Or is there someone who is controlling the flow of the heavenly energy? The Heaven's Path curse energy was originally the energy of the heavens. and was especially transformed into the energy of the heavens. After that, it would enter Du Xiaoling's soul and control Du Xiaoling to spread the death poison everywhere. No wonder the death poison is so terrifying. Chun Xiang finally understood the true meaning of death poison. This type of poison contained all sorts of viciousness and death anyway. After using a few days of time, Du Xiaoling's divine sense sea world had finally become extremely clear. Chun Xiang looked at the colossal dragon in the blue sky and the vermilion bird that was already circling around. All right. Chun Xiang smiled slightly, then kept his second divine sense sea and left Du Xiaoling's divine sense sea. At this time, both Du Xiaoling and Su Yuqing opened their eyes. Thank you. Du Xiaoling's eyes were moist, currently filled with excitement. You're welcome. She had put in the most effort, and Du Xiaoling was very clear of this point. Seeing that Su Yuqing was so tired, Chun Xiang anxiously let her enter Yu Yao Mountain Villa to rest. She greeted Bai Ziqian before entering. Du Xiaoling looked at Xia Bailing and did not dare look him in the eye. She did not know that Xia Bailing already knew about her. Let bygones be bygones. I'm very open-minded. Xia Bailing pinched Du Xiaoling's face and giggled. I never thought Heaven Poison Divine Spirit was so cute and innocent. Du Xiaoling stared blankly for a moment, secretly rejoiced in his heart, then smiled sweetly at Xia Bailing. Emin? Thank you. Xia Bailing rubbed Du Xiaoling's innocent and cute face. Seeing a big spider crawling on the ground, she quickly jumped on it and chased after it. Are you tired? Do you want to take a rest? Bai Ziqian asked. She was already Chun Xiang's woman and was extremely concerned about him. It's not tiring. It's not a problem even if I have to fight with you for 300 rounds. Chun Xiang laughed. Ah, do you fight often? Du Xiaoling knew that their relationship was close, but he never thought that they would often fight. Bai Yuyu chuckled. They were fighting in the small hut earlier. Bai Ziqian glared at Bai Yuyu and then pinched Chun Xiang. You two bastards, don't teach my master too much. She's very pure. Du Xiaoling was confused, but she did not care too much about it. Right now, she was in a very good mood. Being able to remove her shackles and at the same time getting Xia Bailing's forgiveness was the happiest thing in her life. Elder sister Xiao Ling, do you think my father from the island will be punished again? The death poison has already been expelled by me. Chun Xiang said. You can get rid of that much deadly poison. Du Xiaoling didn't dare to tell her about this matter before because he was worried that the mysterious heaven's curse power inside her soul would know about it and let her poison it. Yeah, it was killed with this flame. Chun Xiang released the fire of creation. This is world-exterminating flame. Du Xiaoling was shocked, and her face slightly changed. What? Isn't that called the Creator's fire? Chun Xiang then took out the Chuangshi God Furnace. This thing is called a Chuangshi God Furnace. Creation and destruction are similar. Once destroyed, you can create anew. In Xia Bailing's hand was a very small cat, only the size of a thumb. Your father's island should no longer be in danger, because the heaven-poisoned divine spirit is no longer. However, I am worried that the heavenly Tao will create another punisher. Du Xiaoling said. Xia Bailing laughed. Even if there are new punishers, they will first kill this little scoundrel. She pinched Chun Xiang's face. Chun Xiang slapped her hands away and snorted. You touched so many poisons and you're here to touch my face again. Xia Bailing said in a charming voice. What are you afraid of? Bai Yuyu asked. Sister Bai Ling, who was the one who planned all of this? You are so powerful, and you are even using spatial energy, you shouldn't be so easily poisoned. When Bai Yuyu did not mention it, Xia Bailing had almost forgotten about it. These three bastards, I have to find them, they actually teamed up to ambush me. First, they used an array disk to mess up the space around me, causing me to lose my senses for a short period of time. Then they released a large amount of poisonous gas, which I accidentally absorbed. This formation plate must be very brilliant. Sister Bai Ling, you are a space Tao master. Su Yuqing said after hearing it from the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. They are from the undead divine race, they should be from the sacred wasteland. There are traces of the undead divine race in all the great wastelands, and only the sacred wasteland has that kind of strength. Du Shaoling said. Let's not talk about this first. Xianxia took out a pile of medicinal ingredients and said, Sister Bai Ling, you are experienced and knowledgeable. Tell me what these are. So many good things. Where did you get them? Xia Bailing anxiously shouted. She was also an alchemist, so she naturally knew about it. Xianxia had asked Xia Chaoyan before at the Hundreds of Flowers village, and she had only thrown out the Emperor Blood Ginseng. These three are Emperor-grade medicinal materials. Du Shaoling recognized her as well. After all, she had lived for a long time, and she specialized in refining poisons. This horn-like grass is a Dao Dragon Earthgrass. If it is refined together with the Emperor Blood Ginseng, it will be able to create a Dao God Emperor Yuan Dan. Xia Bailing said, This pill is an Emperor middle-tier pill. Furthermore, it is temporarily useless to you, as this is only useful to us Dao sovereigns. The main thing is to cultivate Dao God Gold Body. Du Shaoling nodded and said, Above the Dao sovereign is the Dao God. One must cultivate up to the Dao God Gold Body in order to be able to bear the powerful heavenly energy of the Dao Gods and step into the Dao God realm. What about this potato thing? Xianxia pointed to the potato that looked like a golden crystal. I don't know. Xia Bailing shook his head and looked at Du Shaoling. Elder Sister Shaoling definitely knows. Du Shaoling chuckled. This is called a Zhuyang earthly fruit, a fruit that grows underground. There is a core within it that can be used to grow. The Zhuyang earthly fruit contains a special Zhuyang Dao power, something stronger than the profound Tao power. On the same level, the Zhuyang Dao power is 10 times more powerful than the profound Tao power. This 9-yang earth cucumber. No, ghastly fruit. It's that powerful. Xianxia looked at Xia Bailing. Xia Bailing also did not think that she was from the spirit wasteland, so he did not know much about this kind of medicine that had profound Tao powers. Elder Sister Shaoling, we still have profound fruit. If we refine the pellets together with the Zhuyang earthly fruit, wouldn't that be even more powerful? Xia Bailing immediately said. Du Shaoling nodded his head. Actually, high-level medicines can be matched very freely when refining, mainly because high-level ingredients are rare, and there are very few inherent pill formulas. A single medicinal ingredient to refine into a pill would have very good effects. I need you guys to try it. I only know how to refine poisons. I do not know how to refine pills, but it should be more or less the same. Bai Ziqian asked, What is the use of the profound Tao power? The combination of the power of the profound yellow and the power of the heavenly Dao will make it even more powerful. You might not be able to sense it now, but if you manage to cultivate it to the Dao profound realm, you will understand. Du Shaoling said, In the entire primordial wastelands, only the Dao auras of profound wasteland and sacred wasteland contain the profound Tao power, and only these two places are able to produce medicinal ingredients that contain the profound Tao power. Xia Bailing pouted and said, Then doesn't that mean that our profound Tao power isn't strong? Dao sovereigns are weak compared to the sacred wasteland and the profound wasteland Dao sovereigns? If we were to compare strength, then it would indeed be much weaker. However, it doesn't matter. We can catch up later on. Du Shaoling said. After that, Bai Yuyu told Bai Ziqian the method to cultivate the heart of the profound way, which Bai Ziqian did not know about. After hearing it, Du Shaoling was very surprised. Xianxia, is this a method to create something? Truly amazing. If I can truly cultivate my heart of the profound way, then I can turn my own Dao energy into profound Tao power, and when it is needed, I can transform it without needing to go from a newly accumulated state to a new one. Amen. Right now I have already cultivated the heart of the profound way. I think if I can refine the Zhuyang earthly fruit and the profound fruit into a pill, it would be very easy to form the mind. Xianxia said. It won't be easy to grow many of them. This emperor-grade medicinal herb will take a very long time to grow. Xia Bailing also wanted to quickly refine more. She wanted to cultivate until she had a clear mind. It's not too long. There are already more than 10 profound fruit here. Xianxia laughed. Du Shaoling and Bai Ziqian did not know that Xianxia had a creation divine well, but hearing Xianxia's words, Du Shaoling picked up the profound fruit and looked at it. The aura of the creation divine spring. Do you have a creator's well? Du Xiaoling said in shock. This is the natural law divine spirit's treasure, and it's actually in your hands. He gave it to me. Chunxiang suddenly laughed sinisterly. Elder sister Xiaoling, that guy still has something good. When I see him again, I'll see if I can get back here. The best thing about him is this creation God's well. Since he has already given it to you, don't think about his things. Du Xiaoling laughed. Little scoundrel, come back after you grow those emperor-grade medicinal herbs. I want to stay here for a while. Xia Bailing said. I also want to cultivate my impenetrable physique. Elder sister Xiaoling, you definitely have a way, right? Xia Bailing had experienced death poison before, and had also experienced Sky Evolution's poison, so she was very afraid of poison. She was very envious of Chun Xiang's poison, so she wasn't afraid of anything. I do have a way, but I have to endure a lot of hardships. I can't guarantee that I won't succeed. Du Xiaoling thought about it and said, no problem. I'm not afraid of hard work. I want to learn from you. Xia Bailing said. Chun Xiang had already helped Bai Yuyu find Bai Ziqian, and even helped him get rid of the curse, so it was time for him to return. Bai Ziqian continued to stay here. The reason why Du Xiaoling stayed in Beast Wasteland was because there were not many humans there. Sometimes she had to go out to refine some poison, and if there was an accident and the poison leaked out, it would affect many people. Before Chun Xiang left, Du Xiaoling gave him 3 small jade boxes. The black box is a heaven's divination poison. You should already understand it by now. Inside the white box was the heart-devouring bone poison. If one touched it, all of the bones and heart in one's body would melt. As for the red box, it is called drunken sky powder. If you smell even a trace of it, you would feel weak all over. And if you are unable to use your Tao energy, your divine soul will become sluggish. Du Xiaoling warned repeatedly. This is all for your personal defense. You must be careful when using it, so as to not harm the innocent. Then, she gave Chun Xiang a jade bottle. Inside this bottle is the antidote I refined. It can cure all 3 poisons. If you accidentally poison an innocent person, it can be used to cure the poison. What a great item. Can it deal with Tao sovereigns or something? Chun Xiang asked. It can poison a Tao sovereign, but a vigilant Tao sovereign can prevent the poison from spreading. If he wants to spread it all over his body, the only way is to poison his heart. Du Xiaoling said seriously. I am only giving you protection with your current cultivation. You cannot go face to face with the Tao sovereign. It is very dangerous. I know, thank you. Chun Xiang laughed. I must remember this. In order to make Chun Xiang remember, Du Xiaoling had even pinched Chun Xiang's face, causing him to laugh foolishly. Just like this, Chun Xiang brought Bai Yuyu and Su Yuqing back to the Hundreds of Flowers village, and Su Yuqing once again returned to their artifact forging team. As for Bai Yuyu, she planned to follow Chun Xiang for a while, because the members of the War God team were all outside. She didn't want to go out alone, either. Inside the Hundreds of Flowers village, Feng Yujie, Xie Chaoyan and the others had already started refining Shipodan. Chun Xiang and Chu Hongqing had previously refined quite a few already, which was enough for them to eat by themselves. Feng Yujie and the others did not just refine pills for the Hundreds of Flowers village's women to eat. The Heavenly Dragon City also needed it, and the Heavenly Dragon City did not want it for nothing. They would go to various places to gather some resources that the Hundreds of Flowers village said they needed, and at the same time plant a large amount of medicinal herbs. With the formation Long Juxiao had set up to grow medicinal ingredients, the speed of the cultivation would also be extremely fast. And the others also planned to return to the profound wasteland. After all, they had their own city there. When it was nighttime, Chun Xiang brought them to the profound wasteland and entered the city. What was surprising was that there was no attack from the city and everything was very quiet. The Tao aura in the city had already become extremely strong, and it was all created by Tai Yun Tian. Chun Xiang did not stay there for long. When he came to Three Money Divine City, he found out from Huang Jin Tian that Fan Shixin had been looking for him these past few days. Manor Lord Fan, is there anything you need me for? Chun Xiang asked. He was a little worried that the matter of him killing the descendants of the Sky Desolate in Sacred Wasteland would be discovered. The more important thing is that although our 3 great native bank S have achieved some results in their training, We are currently unable to enter the Devil Wasteland or the Devil Wasteland. We will need your help. Fan Shixin said, Evil Wasteland and the Black Hairs human inside the Devil Wasteland have roughly 2 months to break through the barrier, and we plan to start a real battle soon. Song Yungying and the other disciples were all shocked by Chun Xiang's position. Even they did not dare to speak to these villa masters casually, as the position of these 3 villa masters was much higher compared to the sect leader S under the banner of the 3 native bank S. But from the looks of it, Chun Xiang had a very good relationship with Fan Shixin. Alright, let's go out now. I wanted to go to Devil Wasteland for a look since a long time ago. Chun Xiang said, Oh right, didn't Undead Divine Race and Evil Spirit Race go to Devil Wasteland to mess around the last time? We fought with them. They suffered heavy casualties, so we're fine. Fan Shixin took out a small jade house and told Song Yungying's group to go inside. There were a lot of disciples in his small jade house. We have to be careful of these fellows. I wonder if the 3 manor lords have heard of the Heaven's Divination poison. Chun Xiang asked. The 3 villa masters had heard it before, because when they heard Chun Xiang say those words, their faces suddenly changed. Chun Xiang, you've seen this poison before. Fan Shixin asked quickly. I have. They used the Heaven's Divination poison to attack a Dao sovereign and did it right at Spirit Wasteland. I wonder how they got the poison, Chun Xiang said. Looks like Undead Divine Race can't sit still anymore. They actually dared to use this poison. Fan Shixin's expression became grave, and then he took out a jade talisman. Pan Yuan and Lu Shanze had also taken out their communication jade symbol paper to send out the message, probably to report this matter. Above them, there were 2 other villa masters who were even more terrifying. Alright, let's head out now. Our villa's master will have a plan to deal with the Undead Divine Race. You don't have to worry, Fan Shixin said. Soon after, Chun Xiang followed Fan Shixin to a transmission array. This transmission array can directly teleport us outside of Devil Wasteland, but you only need to bring us through that barrier, Fan Shixin said. After you bring us in, you can come back immediately and pick us up at a later time. That was why there were 3 villa masters leading the way. These 3 villa masters did not want Chun Xiang to encounter any danger within the Devil Wasteland. Alright, I might have to stay in there for a while when the time comes, Chun Xiang said. He had 6 realms mirrors so he could protect himself inside, but as long as he did not meet a leader-level Black Hairs human, those level of Black Hairs human would all be Dao sovereigns, extremely powerful. The transmission array opened, and Chun Xiang and the others arrived outside the Devil Wasteland. Chun Xiang looked around. It was a wasteland. Its surroundings were filled with death aura. All of this aura was coming from the Devil Wasteland. This was originally a grassland, but now it has become like this. Pan Yuan sighed. This barrier won't last for long before it explodes. Now that the death aura had already leaked out, it was clear that the barrier would not last for long. Let's go in now. Chun Xiang took out his 6 realms mirrors. Seeing him, the 3 manor lords were very surprised. Chun Xiang actually had this kind of thing, although they did not know much about the 6 realms mirrors, but they could tell that this was a very powerful thing. Of course, they were just curious and didn't ask too much. They all mounted Chun Xiang's 6 realms mirrors. Chun Xiang channeled the energy of the White Tiger Dao Mark, and then teleported into the barrier, arriving inside the Devil Wasteland in the blink of an eye. Come in. Fan Shixin looked behind him and confirmed that he had entered. Following that, he felt an extremely bitter aura of death. Pan Yuan looked at the sky. The entire Devil Wasteland is covered up by this evil aura. It can be seen how scary of an event this place has been through. The Black Hairs human in here should be even more terrifying than the profound wasteland. Chun Xiang had already sensed an unusual aura. All the Black Hairs humaness inside the Devil Wasteland had awakened very early. There must have been a certain degree of evolution. Fan Shixin and the other 2 manor lords each took out a small jade hut. After tossing the jade hut far away, the small jade hut slowly grew in size and turned into a palace in the blink of an eye. Chun Xiang, if you don't want to go back, you can stay in the palaces too. The 3 palaces are very sturdy, Fan Shixin said. Yes. Chun Xiang nodded. He planned to stay here to cultivate for a while before going. Not long later, the disciples of the three palaces walked out, and Xianxia entered one of the palaces, choosing a secret room. Now, he continued to eat Shipodan in order to break through. Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiangyin were currently cultivating. They had previously eaten Shipodan and were currently refining its medicinal power, making a breakthrough very quickly. There are still 200 pills, which should be enough for me to enter the 4th level of Dao per realm. Right now, Xianxia was already at the 3rd level of the Dao per realm, so entering the 4th level shouldn't be too difficult. After eating the Shipodan, he started to cultivate. 3 days later, Xianxia had already stepped into the 4th level of Dao per realm. It might be difficult for others, but it was extremely easy for him. At this moment, while he was washing the sweat off his body in the secret room, he felt someone pushing the door open. Although the palace was very safe, it was, after all, inside the Devil Wasteland, so Xianxia could be vigilant at any time and release a space domain at any time. Who the hell are they? Xianxia immediately turned into a mist and hid himself. Then, he floated outside and saw 2 people. There should be someone inside. There's still water here. Could he have discovered us? The one who spoke was a very skinny man, and judging from his clothes, he was from Eternal Life School. Could it be because the battle outside is too intense that it disturbed him, and he used teleportation to escape? Another man said. That might be possible. I heard that this guy's spatial force is very strong. It seems that we've failed this time. What a rare opportunity. The very skinny man sighed. Don't worry. If our men succeed, once these 3 palaces fall, this fellow will die sooner or later. That's right, the 3 great native banks are unable to win against us, the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family. They should not know that the awakening and evolution of the black hairs human was caused by us. Hehe, this time, when they come in for a real fight, 80% of them will not be able to return. Hearing these, Xianxia was shocked. He never thought that Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family would be the culprit, and their motive was clear, to attack the 3 great native banks. Xianxia thought about it and decided to not deal with these 2 fellows for the time being. Otherwise, he would alert the enemy, and he would have to contact Fan Shixin quickly. After that, he would discuss with Fan Shixin and the others how to handle this matter. Seems like all 3 palaces have been attacked by the black hairs humaness. I wonder how long they can last. Xianxia could guess that there was a traitor within the 3 native banks, and the 2 that Xianxia had just seen were them. The 3 palaces that had just appeared were attacked so quickly. It must have been attracted to them by the spies. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read, please visit Song Yangying, and the other disciples were all shocked by Xianxia's position. Even they did not dare to speak to these villa masters casually, as the position of these 3 villa masters was much higher compared to the sect leader S under the banner of the 3 native banks. But from the looks of it, Xianxia had a very good relationship with Fan Shixin. Alright, let's head out now. I wanted to go to Devil Wasteland for a look since a long time ago. Xianxia said. Oh right. Didn't undead divine race and evil spirit race go to the Devil Wasteland to mess around last time? What happened then? We fought with them. They suffered heavy casualties, so we're fine. Fan Shixin took out a small jade house and told Song Yangying's group to go inside. There were a lot of disciples in his small jade house. These guys need to be on guard. I wonder if the 3 manor lords have heard of the heaven's divination poison. Xianxia asked. The 3 villa masters had heard it before, because when they heard Xianxia say those words, their faces suddenly changed. Xianxia, have you seen this poison before? Fan Shixin asked quickly. I've seen them. They used the heaven's divination poison to attack a Dao sovereign right at the spirit wasteland. I wonder how they got this poison, Xianxia said. Looks like undead divine race can't sit still anymore. They actually dared to use this poison. Fan Shixin's expression became grave, and then he took out a jade talisman. It should be a message. 256 for 404 proud of the world pill god proud of the world pill god. Pan Yuan and Lu Shanzi had also taken out their communication jade symbol paper to send out the message, probably to report this matter. Above them, there were 2 other villa masters who were even more terrifying. Alright, let's set off now. Our villa's master will come up with a plan to deal with the undead divine race. You don't have to worry. Fan Shixin said. Soon after, Xianxia followed Fan Shixin to a transmission array. This transmission array can directly teleport us outside of Devil Wasteland, but you only need to bring us through that barrier. Fan Shixin said. After you bring us in, you can come back immediately and pick us up at a later time. That was why there were 3 Villa Masters leading the way. These 3 Villa Masters did not want Xianxia to encounter any danger within the Devil Wasteland. All right, I might have to stay in there for a while when the time comes, Xianxia said. He had 6 realms mirrors, so he could protect himself inside, but as long as he did not meet a leader-level Black Hairs human, those level of Black Hairs human would all be Dao Sovereigns, extremely powerful. The transmission array opened, and Xianxia and the others arrived outside the Devil Wasteland. Xianxia looked around. It was a wasteland. The surroundings were filled with the aura of death. The aura of death was all coming from the Devil Wasteland. This was originally a grassland, but now it has become like this. Pan Yuan sighed. This barrier won't last for long before it explodes. Now that the death aura had already leaked out, it was clear that the barrier would not last for long. Let's go in now. Xianxia took out his 6 realms mirrors. Seeing him, the 3 manor lords were very surprised. Xianxia actually had this kind of thing, although they did not know much about the 6 realms mirrors, but they could tell that this was a very powerful thing. Of course, they were just curious and didn't ask too much. They all mounted Xianxia's 6 realms mirrors. Xianxia channeled the energy of the White Tiger Dao Mark, and then teleported into the barrier, arriving inside the Devil Wasteland in the blink of an eye. You're in. Fan Shixin looked behind him. Indeed, he had already entered. Following after, he felt an extremely bitter aura of death. 256 for 404 proud of the world pill god, proud of the world pill god. Pan Yuan looked at the sky. The entire Devil Wasteland is covered up by this evil aura. It can be seen how scary of an event this place has been through. The Black Hairs human in here should be even more terrifying than the profound wasteland. Xianxia had already sensed an unusual aura. All the Black Hairs humaness inside the Devil Wasteland had awakened very early. There must have been a certain degree of evolution. Fan Shixin and the other 2 manor lords each took out a small jade hut. After tossing the jade hut far away, the small jade hut slowly grew in size and turned into a palace in the blink of an eye. Xianxia, if you don't want to go back, you can stay in the palaces too. The 3 palaces are very sturdy, Fan Shixin said. Xianxia nodded. He planned to stay here to cultivate for a while before going. Not long later, the disciples of the 3 palaces walked out, and Xianxia entered one of the palaces, choosing a secret room. He was going to continue eating Shipo to break through. Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiangyin were currently cultivating. They had previously eaten Shipo and were currently refining its medicinal power, making a breakthrough very quickly. There are still 200 pills, which should be enough for me to enter the 4th level of Dao per realm. Right now, Xianxia was already at the 3rd level of the Dao per realm, so entering the 4th level shouldn't be too difficult. After eating the Shipo he started to cultivate. 3 days later, Xianxia had already stepped into the 4th level of Dao per realm. It might be difficult for others, but it was extremely easy for him. At this moment, while he was washing the sweat off his body in the secret room, he felt someone pushing the door open. Although the palace was very safe, it was, after all, inside the Devil Wasteland, so Xianxia could be vigilant at any time and release a space domain at any time. Who are they? Xianxia immediately turned into a mist and hid himself. Then, he floated outside and saw 2 people. There should be someone inside. There's still water here. Did he discover us? The one who spoke was a very skinny man, and judging from his clothes, he was from Eternal Life School. Could it be because the battle outside is too intense that he used teleportation to escape after disturbing him? Another man said. That might be possible. I heard that this guy's spatial force is very strong. It seems that we've failed this time. What a rare opportunity. The very skinny man sighed. Don't worry. If our men succeed, once these 3 palaces fall, this fellow will die sooner or later. That's right. The 3 great native banks cannot compete with us. They should still not know that we were the ones behind the Black Hairs humans' awakening and evolution. Haha, this time they've come in for a real battle, 80% of them won't be able to make it back. Hearing these, Xianxia was shocked. He never thought that the Heaven Wasteland aristocratic family would be the culprit, and their motive was clear, to attack the three great native banks. Xianxia thought about it and decided to not deal with these two fellows for the time being. Otherwise, he would alert the enemy, and he would have to contact Fan Shixin quickly. After that, he would discuss with Fan Shixin and the others how to handle this matter. Seems like all three palaces have been attacked by the Black Hair's humaness. I wonder how long they can last. Xianxia could guess that there was a traitor within the three native banks, and the two that Xianxia had just seen were them. The three palaces that had just appeared were attacked so quickly. They should have been attracted over by the spies. Xianxia teleported to the outside and discovered that many disciples were fighting with Black Hair's human. The number of Black Hair's humaness did not seem to be that high, so all the disciples dared to leave. Not good. There won't be that few Black Hair's humaness. Xianxia frowned. These disciples are too inexperienced. It's obvious that they were lured out. Xianxia didn't need to think about it to know that there would definitely be a Black Hair's human in this area. He immediately rode his 6 realms mirrors and flew over, shouting at the disciples who were fighting, telling them to quickly enter the palace. The defenses of the 3 palaces were very strong. Just now, when Xianxia came out, he could feel that if he was attacked, he would definitely be able to hold on for a while. These disciples all knew of the relationship between Xianxia and the 3 villa masters, so after hearing Xianxia's words, they all returned to the palace, although they still did not understand the reason. Everyone, it's impossible to have so few Black Hair's humaness, especially this one. Xianxia said, even if there are so few Black Hair's humaness attacking us, the number of people after this will definitely increase. Moreover, there is a fellow like the Transmission Master among the strong Black Hair's humaness as well, so the Transmission Master I met before could teleport thousands of Black Hair's humaness in one go. Xianxia's voice was very loud. He was telling the disciples of the 3 palaces to understand what kind of crisis they were in just now. The 2 spies who had tried to kill Xianxia earlier couldn't help but curse when they heard Xianxia's words. If the disciples that left the palace to fight did not return, when they had exhausted most of their energy in the battle, a large number of Black Hair's humaness would have teleported over, and all of them would have been killed. Just as Xianxia finished speaking, a large group of Black Hair's humaness suddenly appeared, surrounding the 3 palaces tightly. There were at least 100,000 Black Hair's humaness. There were many disciples on the floors of the palace that could be seen from the windows. Seeing this, they couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. If not for Xianxia calling them in, they would have died without a doubt. After the Black Hair's human appeared, he started to attack the 3 palaces crazily, but he was unable to break through the defense of the palaces. Xianxia told everyone to calm down and to wait inside the palace for the 3 villa masters to return. Fan Shixin and the others had only brought a portion of the team out. The majority of them were left behind. Xianxia took out his communication jade symbol paper and sent a message to Fan Shixin. Villa owner Fan, where are you guys? Come back quickly, there's a traitor, and he attracted a large group of Black Hair's human. Xianxia said, but he did not receive a reply. It was possible that he was too far away. Xianxia had just used her consciousness to monitor those 2 fellows who wanted to assassinate her. Those 2 fellows did not dare to do anything now, and their strengths were not weak either. They were both from the Daoshi realm, but they were not the strongest people here. Now, everyone had retreated back into the palace. If the 2 of them were to take action and kill Xianxia, the matter would be exposed. It seemed that he had to forge that pill in advance. Even if he had to use both Jiang earthly fruit S to refine, this would be an extremely huge challenge for Xianxia as he was currently unable to refine even an emperor pill. First, we will separate the refining of Jiang earthly fruit and the refining of Profound fruit. Xianxia planned to start right now. If Fan Shixin and the rest are unable to return within a short period of time, then the 3 palaces would be in danger. He didn't know if the Jiangdao power that Du Shaoling was talking about was really strong, but Du Shaoling had said that this kind of Jiangdao power had a strong killing power that could instantly kill Black Hair's human. Xianxia could only try it first. The devil-suppressing magic power he had previously used against demons had a very good effect. Even if it was much stronger than him, he would still lose miserably against these devil-suppressing magic power. So Xianxia thought that the current profound Tao power and Jiangdao power were similar to the devil-suppressing magic power. Arriving at the palace, Xianxia asked the few array masters inside about how long the defensive array could last. At this point, they were all worried because the palace's defensive array could only defend for a month at most. "There's still a month, that's enough," Chu Hongqing said. "In another 10 days, the Jiang earthly fruit will be harvested, and there should be a lot of profound fruit." Right now, within 10 days, Xianxia had to familiarize himself with refining profound fruit at that time. With refining together with the Jiang earthly fruit, it would not be too difficult. "Yes, I'll start now." Xianxia returned to the secret room. This time, he reinforced the door of the secret room, using the 6 realms mirrors to release a seal. Even Dao Sovereign would need a bit of strength to break through. Xianxia took out a profound fruit. Although the profound fruit was completely black, it emitted a dense amount of profound Tao power, and there was even a crystal core within it. Just as Xianxia was about to put the profound fruit into the furnace to refine it, his communication jade symbol paper suddenly shook. "Xianxia, we are in trouble here. We did not expect the black hairs human to be so strong compared to what we imagined. You must hold on until we return. The palace can probably last for 1 month. If we do not return in 20 days, you will think of a way to run out of the palace on your own, and go to the sacred wasteland to call for reinforcements." Fan Shixin finally replied to Xianxia. "Let's talk about the traitor first. You have to keep an eye on them during this period of time." Xianxia sighed. The black hairs human was indeed powerful. Even Fan Shixin and the others could not resist it, and fell into a difficult situation. Right now, Xianxia could only wait patiently for 20 days. At that time, if he did not have any progress in pill refining, he would have to return to the sacred wasteland. "I wonder if there are any black hairs human-s with the strength of Dao sovereigns outside." Xianxia was a little worried at the moment, but he had asked those formation masters before. So far, their strongest attack was only at the Dao sect level. Xianxia placed the profound fruit into the Chuangshi god furnace. This was his first time refining an emperor stage medicinal herb, so he was rather excited. Of course, right now he was only refining the profound fruit by himself. The profound fruit had to be refined together with the Jiang earthly fruit. He was also very eager to refine the Jiang Dao power. Profound fruit S should be low-grade emperor stage medicinal herbs, and Jiang earthly fruit S should be mid-grade emperor stage medicinal herbs. If the two are combined to refine pellets, it would be mid-grade emperor stage medicinal pellets. Xianxia said, "If I can refine this profound fruit into a pill, then I can understand how to refine low-grade emperor stage pellet. After that, refining a middle-grade pellet will be much easier. If I were to add those purple pearls to water, the Jiang earthly fruit might be able to reap a good harvest a few days in advance." Chu Hongqing said. She was also aware of the current situation. "That's for the best." Xianxia released the flames and began refining the profound fruit. The process of refining the profound fruit was not as easy as Xianxia had imagined. After all, this was an emperor-level medicinal ingredient, and it was even a bit special, and there was a large amount of profound Tao power contained within. Fortunately, he had refined a few profound Dao Qingdan before, so he had accumulated some experience with the characteristics of the profound Tao power. Xianxia only started for a short while before he encountered a very thorny problem. The layer of black fruit flesh and skin on the profound fruit's surface suddenly cracked, as if it was going to break. After it cracked open, waves of profound Tao power S were constantly used inside the profound fruit, and this profound Tao power had a huge impact on the flame, causing it to not burn in its normal state and becoming a little berserk. The inside of the profound fruit is a crystal core. If this crystal core is not suppressed, this situation will definitely continue. Xianxia immediately used Tai Chi to release a small Taiji Yin and Yang map and seal that crystal core. The crystal core quickly stabilized and the flames inside the furnace became much calmer. In just a few moments, it returned to its normal state, and Xianxia managed to refine it relatively smoothly now. The fruit flesh and skin outside the crystal core had already been slowly refined and turned into medicinal liquid. Right now, only the crystal core had not been refined. The crystal core contained a lot of profound Tao power S. Xianxia continued to release the creator's fire to burn it, using the mirage flame to slowly refine it from the inside of the crystal core. This crystal nucleus was the most valuable part of the entire profound fruit. Xianxia had to burn it for a good 6 hours before he managed to refine the entire crystal core into a medicinal liquid. There was a lot of liquid medicine inside the furnace. After all, the crystal core had compressed a lot of profound Tao power S, so after refining, there would be a lot of compressed profound Tao power S that had turned into liquid. Looks like the difficulty of refining this profound fruit is not too high. I just wonder how it will fuse with the Jiang earthly fruit. Xianxia began to condense the pill. He planned to condense this huge mass of medicinal liquid into a single pellet. Of course, if he were to divide it into a few groups, condensing a few pellets would not be a problem, but right now, in order to obtain more profound Tao power, and condense them into a single pellet, the quality would increase even more. At this time, he was using the sublimation refining method to refine, which could improve his quality. In order to succeed, he did not plan to use the crash method, as it would consume a lot of energy. If I knew, I would have refined it with a Jutian Dan Ding. This Jutian Dan Ding can improve its quality by a lot. Xianxia was currently refining with a Chuangshi God furnace. The Jutian Dan Ding was something he had won in a gambling match with before, and it was also a very good heavenly artifact. The process of condensing a pill was not easy. It required a very long time, especially on the first try. Normally, it would take a very long time for it to be completed. Xianxia spent an entire 2 days to condense one Emperor Profound Core. Dijiadan are just used to cultivate profound Tao power. Xianxia looked at the golden pellet, and then ate it. Right now, he urgently needed to cultivate the heart of the profound way. As long as he could cultivate the mind, he could absorb the profound energy in his divine sense C through the heart of the profound way, and quickly turn it into profound Tao power. In other words, as long as he succeeded, the vast amount of Tao energy in his divine sense C would be equivalent to profound Tao power, and he wouldn't need to cultivate the profound Tao power alone like the people in the profound wasteland and the profound wasteland. As for the cultivators in profound wasteland and sacred wasteland, from the moment they started cultivating, they were able to absorb the profound Tao power from the Tao energy. However, other than these two places, no one else had such conditions. After Xianxia consumed the Emperor Profound Pellet, he quickly entered into a state of cultivation. At this time, the profound Tao power was like a large river, flowing endlessly into the heart. The Emperor Profound Core contained an extremely large amount of profound Tao power S. In half a day, Xianxia refined the medicinal power into the heart of the profound way, and at the same time, his heart of the profound way became stronger and stronger. He was already able to convert the Tao power into profound Tao power, but its speed was rather slow. If he had a mental plan, he could instantly transform it. Xianxia also did not refine any Emperor Profound pills now, but was waiting for the Jiang earthly fruit S to grow out. Hongqing, how is the growth of this Jiang earthly fruit? Xianxia asked. Jiang earthly fruit need to be buried deep under the soil. Chu Hongqing said. The Jiang earthly fruit will bud on its own, then grow a blade of grass, and then split the grass into branches to grow other Jiang earthly fruit. In other words, if it is planted, isn't it a string of fruits? Xianxia laughed. Yes, the one from before. There are around 20 of them in a row. With the help of the purple pearls, they will mature and be used to concoct pills after 2 more days or so. Chu Hongqing said. There were still 2 days worth of time, and Xianxia couldn't wait any longer either. As long as he went out for a walk, he could see through a window that many black hairs humaness outside were still attacking the palace. In order for the palace to resist, the array formation continued to circulate. This way it would continuously consume energy. Once the energy inside the palace was used up, the black hairs human would be able to attack. I wonder if there's a Tao sovereign's black hairs human outside. Xianxia pondered. He did not know if he could match up to the black hairs humaness with the Tao sovereign level of cultivation, once he mastered it. He felt that by relying on the 6 realms mirrors as his defense and using the heavenly magic sword as support, he would be able to kill quite a few black hairs humaness. If the other party had a Tao sovereign, he wouldn't dare to act rashly. Xianxia took out the heavenly magic sword, changed it into a ninth heaven divine bow, and shot it towards the black hare's human outside. He aimed at the heart of a black hare's human, and after the arrow pierced through the heart of that black hare's human suddenly exploded. The black hare's human outside were very concentrated, so a single explosion would affect the surrounding area. Just this one arrow alone had already cost a few thousand. Like the black hare's human the heart is their weakness. Xianxia was secretly happy. This was an extremely fatal blow. After the arrow just now, black hare's humans seemed to have received orders, as they scattered apart, maintaining a certain distance. This way, even if they exploded again, they wouldn't blow up a large area like before. There must be a leader nearby. Xianxia used the Dao Heart Eye to carefully observe. Amongst the surrounding black hare's human, that Xianxia was the same size, and there were no transmission masters inside. The transmission master must have been complex enough to teleport over to ordinary black hare's human. Then they all hid themselves. The black hare's human here seems to be very smart. Chu Hongqing said, "This is not easy to deal with." Previously, when Xianxia was inside the profound wasteland, when he teamed up with Tai Xiong and the others, he had easily killed thousands of the black hare's human, and they were all in the distance at that. Xianxia was waiting for the Zhuyang earthly fruit to mature, so he also planned to use the 9 Shao God's bow to kill as many people as possible in the next 2 days. When Xianxia was killing black hare's human, he discovered that the 2 spies were nearby. They were obviously monitoring him. Xianxia did not have much patience left. If he was watched like this again, it was very possible that he would torture the 2 of them to death, regardless of the cost. "Wait till I finish cultivating my mind. Manor Lord Fan and the others still haven't returned. I will finish off these 2 fellows first." Xianxia thought. 2 days had passed and the Jiang earthly fruit had matured. Xianxia was already impatient and hurriedly entered the secret room. Previously, he had planned to refine Jiang earthly fruit by himself, but now, with some impatience, he decided to do so too. Let's use the Chuangshi God furnace first. It would be more convenient to refine it with the world creation flame. Xianxia wanted to use Juqian Danding, but he was not familiar with refining Jiang earthly fruit yet, so it would be easier for him to fail when using Juqian Danding. Xianxia felt like he was putting the Diprofound fruit into a pill furnace to refine it. When he was almost done, he separated out a space inside the Chuangshi God furnace and placed the medicinal liquid to the side. Then, he placed the Jiang earthly fruit into the furnace so that he could refine the Jiang earthly fruit alone. The Jiang earthly fruit and the Diprofound fruit are very different. The Diprofound fruit is just an inner crystal, but the entire Jiang earthly fruit is crystallized. Xianxia refined it using his flames, and it was extremely difficult to move it. That was why he had no choice but to refine it from the inside out. Even so, the refining speed was still very slow, and it was difficult for it to reach the speed he had expected. This sort of crystallized item is really hard to forge. Xianxia really wanted to shatter this piece of crystal, but he was worried that breaking it would affect the integrity of the entire Jiang earthly fruit, and would affect the quality. "Seems like I can only try that move." Xianxia took a deep breath and started to release a huge amount of creation flame inside the furnace, compressed all of the fierce flames together. Not long after, they became liquid. Xianxia wrapped the ball of liquid flame around the Jiang earthly fruit, and then used a large amount of strength to create a strong pressure. Then, he poured the liquid fire into the Jiang earthly fruit. The liquid fire essence contained a very strong burning power, and this kind of fire essence was not something that could be created easily. It was something that Xianxia had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy, and it had a very strong refining power, especially towards this sort of crystallized thing. The flame liquid seeped into the Jiang earthly fruit, and the Jiang earthly fruit also continuously emitted mist of air. When the flame liquid completely seeped in, Xianxia controlled the ball of flame liquid to slowly expand. Meanwhile, the crystallized Jiang earthly fruit was also expanding along with the fire liquid, slowly melting as it increased in size. In just an hour, the entire Jiang earthly fruit had turned into a medicinal liquid. This technique really does work. However, the energy it consumes is quite great. It requires quite a bit of Dao energy to condense the liquid flame. Xianxia was secretly happy. He had finally refined the Jiang earthly fruit. Let's call it the pressure refinement method. Xianxia slowly let out a breath. Although he had already refined the Jiang earthly fruit, it did not mean that he would succeed. This was because he still had to fuse the Jiang earthly fruit's medicinal liquid with the Di-profound fruits. It was not easy to fuse them. Xianxia felt a headache just thinking about it, but he could only bite the bullet and charge forward. Xianxia took a few deep breaths and then started to fuse the two medicinal liquids. The process of fusion could be said to be the hardest. If he did not have any special techniques, he could only rely on brute force to fuse the two liquids. Xianxia, on the other hand, had skills. He had many different methods in the heavenly alchemy to solve the problems that would arise when he mixed in with many different methods. The process of fusing the Di-profound fruit and the Jiang earthly fruit wasn't as difficult as Xianxia had expected, because the two both had certain attributes of the profound Tao power. Furthermore, he had used various methods of the heavenly alchemy when refining them so he could solve the difficult problem of fusing them, such as the original source refining. Although it wasn't difficult, it still took Xianxia 2 days. It's only been 2 days, not too long. Xianxia was just a bit short of perspiration, but he had finally fused with it, and the next step was to condense a pill. This time, he also planned to condense one pellet, and when he condensed the pellet, he also used the sublimation refining method to improve its quality. The condensing of the pellet required time, and Xianxia had to spend an entire day to condense it. "I've finally succeeded." Xianxia took out a small bead that glimmered with a golden white light. It looked like a crystal. This Xian core should be considered as a mid-grade emperor-level Xian core. Xianxia could not help but reveal a smile. Previously, after consuming the Emperor Profound Core, his Heart of the Profound Way had also improved a lot. If he had eaten the mid-grade Emperor Profound Core now, he had a 70% chance of being able to cultivate it. To be able to refine a mid-grade Emperor-level pill in 3 days, he is truly amazing. In the past, I heard that it would take at least a month to refine a low-grade Emperor Dan. Yang Xiangyin exclaimed. Hehe. Don't you know who is concocting pills? Xianxia laughed. Your master is not like those alchemists. After Xianxia consumed this 9-yang Emperor Profound Core, he suddenly activated his cultivation technique, preparing to refine the energy into the heart of the profound way. Once the 9-yang Emperor Profound Core released a wave of medicinal power, Xianxia could immediately feel the difference in the Jiang Dao power. Previously, Du Shaoling told Xianxia being 10 times stronger was this, but now, he felt that it wasn't just 10 times stronger, he estimated that it was at least 15 times stronger. As long as I succeed, I can rely on this Jiang Dao power to kill a large number of black hairs human. At this time, Xianxia was a little excited. He quickly refined it. 2 days later, Xianxia, who was bare-chested, emitted a faint white light from where his heart was. He had already mastered the inner workings of the heart, and it was even the 9 suns. His mysterious Tao heart had already turned into the mysterious heart of the 9 suns. It was far more powerful than the previous mysterious heart. It's a success. Xianxia secretly channeled his spirit energy and had his 9-yang mind palace transform it. After that, he looked down at his chest and only saw a white light emitting from his heart. And he could clearly feel that his spirit energy had become much stronger after being transformed by the 9-yang heart gem. Of course, this was compared to the profound Tao power that he had angered himself to use before. What he was releasing now was the Jiang Dao power. It's done. We can go out and give it a try. Xianxia clenched his fists, put on his clothes, and walked out of the secret room. The moment he walked out of the secret chamber, he saw the 2 spies. Brother Shin, we have something important to discuss with you. This place is not very convenient. Can we talk inside your secret room? One of the tall and skinny men said. Xianxia thought for a while, then said, No problem. Just thinking about it with his knees, he knew that these 2 spies wanted to kill him, and he also had thoughts of taking action against these 2 spies.